Oh, fuck.
Starting off really strong.
Hey all, and welcome to my channel. My name is Erin, and this is the first episode of Cooking the Books. This is my friend Grace, who is going to help us introduce the series. So today we're going to be making Budae Jjigae, which shows up in Heart and Seoul towards the end of the book. It is super easy to make, and it is delicious. I have a vague recipe.
I don't know how to make this, so.
Well, you made it once before with me.
I was
But you
mostly
just
sitting.
watched.
Yeah, I was mostly sitting and just mooching.
So it's super customizable. I'm adding in some more vegetables because I'm a heathen that way. But majority of it is horrendously unhealthy ingredients.
We got lots of Spam.
Yes, Spam is definitely kind of the key ingredient in Budae Jjigae. You can't really skip it. It's in all of the recipes that I've looked at.
It sounds gross and it looks gross, but it's not that bad, I think.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's weirdly good.
I was kind of like, ugh, but yeah, it's pretty good.
So some of the ingredients, we have the king oyster mushrooms, and we have the enoki mushrooms, which are these nice little skinny ones. So to prep them, all you have to do is wash them and then chop the ends off. All prepped. And then for Budae Jjigae, you need a really nice big pan because it fits a lot of food. For the enokis, you can literally just set them in the pan. And this is all going to be done up. It's like a stew / soup. Grace, why are you hiding back here?
I'm just watching. I am not good at cooking or anything. So like I'm learning so much right now.
This is a Chinese white radish. It might also be a daikon. It really depends on what the store feels like labeling it as.
Erin loves radishes. That's all she talks about.
They're really good.
If you look at her fridge, it's just radish and that's it.
I bought like 7 of them so that I could prep them. Just like dice them and freeze them for soups. So I'm gonna let you peel that.
Oh, hell yeah, okay.
So Budae Jjigae, it's army-based stew. The Budae part is just the Korean general word for an army base, and Jjigae is their style of stews. Budae Jjigae got really popular at the end of the Korean War because a lot of food was super scarce, so they either smuggled out food from the American army bases or they were gifted it and they just blended it together with traditional Korean ingredients, which is how it came to exist as this weird amalgamation of horrible for you American foods and traditional Korean stuff. So one of the additional vegetables that I'm adding that is not in any of the actual recipes is garlic scapes. I'm not adding this many, but they're just like the plant part that grows up on the garlic stalk. I'm pretty sure this is where the flower comes on. What would you say that smells like? It's like a weird kind of herbal-y garlic.
Yeah, wait. Oh, it smells like a meadow.
For prepping this, literally just cut off
also here
the ends. Yes, I'll cut the radish because the ends get all dried up and gross. And I'm just gonna cut them into like, is that like 2 inches-ish?
Oh yeah, this is 2 inches.
You can cut them really into whatever size you feel like it. So we'll put the garlic scapes in there. The sauce base of it is probably a lot of things you don't generally have in your kitchen if you are a super white person. I'll let Grace measure the stuff out. You need 2 tablespoons of gochugaru, which is the Korean red pepper flakes. You can't substitute these for anything. They're like their own thing.
They're their own thing?
Yeah, well, because lots of ingredients you can kind of substitute it with other things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is spicy. You can add more or less depending on how spicy you like it because it is very intense.
My eyes are watering.
You need 2 tablespoons of mirin, which is seasoned rice wine. I got a giant bottle of it because I make this sauce base and add it to pretty much all of my soups now because it's amazing. Full tablespoons. You're being stingy. So after the mirin, you need 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Okay, then you need a ½ tablespoon of gochujang, which is Korean hot pepper paste, which is different from the gochugaru. It's made of the same thing, but it has a different flavor. And we need just a ½ tablespoon of sugar, but use the other measuring spoon so that I don't get gochujang in the sugar.
That's fine.
Yeah, toss it in.
It smells good.
Okay, hop onto your own cutting board with that.
I'm just the eye candy here.
You are, you're beautiful. Okay, so for the white radish, I'm gonna use close to a half of it because I love it and no one can stop me. So I'm just gonna cut it into, I don't know how thick you would say that is. And then I'm just gonna cut it into little sticks, very similar to the size of the garlic scapes, because I like symmetry, so pretty much everything I put into this is going to match.
This is gonna look aesthetic by the end of it.
It will. That's the really nice thing about like a lot of the Korean soups and stews is they're beautiful to look at.
Yeah, it's really satisfying.
So I'll set the sauce aside. It goes on the top afterwards. For the king oyster mushrooms, you just have to trim off the ends and then kind of slice them lengthwise. The radish, usually when I cook it in soups, it takes about 15 or so minutes. This is only going to cook for about 8 minutes, which is why I'm also cutting them smaller. And then you want half a cup of kimchi. I just bought a little container of it from the store.
The kimchi looks so good.
I do usually make my own, but I have not recently, and it's like a multi-day process. This is not really that much kimchi for.
I know, I feel like we need more than that.
Yeah, I'm gonna add extra.
Good, okay.
No one can stop us.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page.
There we go. Next is bokchoy. I'm just putting in one for extra veggies. This is also not a traditional ingredient to this, but I need my greens. So just make sure you rinse them really, really well because dirt and stuff will get stuck kind of around the base. You can cook it whole, but I'm not going to because this is a sharing dish. So individual leaves are a lot more helpful for that. I'm not going to put these in immediately because they do cook really fast and I want them to keep their crunch. Usually there's like Vienna sausages or hot dogs and stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of processed meat. Sometimes they'll add like canned baked beans. Oh god. Opening the Spam.
I'm scared it's gonna like flick in my face.
Come off. Oh god. The beauty of Spam.
What is Spam again?
It's a
just
pork
miscellaneous
product.
Okay.
That's the extent of my knowledge. Do you want to tip it out? Squish it.
Wait, guys. Wait, guys. Oh.
Beautiful.
Does that not look good?
We only need about half a can of this because it is. Well, I guess we could use more.
I mean, that's probably good. It's probably good. Should
we're not using any of the hot dogs and stuff. I'm gonna do them little sticks, but that's just me. You can cut them however you want.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, because I'm a hoe for symmetry. It's really up to you how much Spam you want to have. It is extremely high fat and extremely high sodium.
Yeah, there's no way this is good for you.
No, it is definitely not. But it is really delicious in this dish.
Okay, this wasn't really symmetrical, but if you don't look at it,
that's okay. I'll still love you. That's all the ingredients right now. There's a few that you put in a little bit later just because they take way less time to cook. I'm just gonna spread that Spam out. You can put the sauce just in the middle.
All of it?
Yep.
Oh yeah. You guys can't smell this, but it smells really good.
It's intense. We never added the garlic. 1 tablespoon minced garlic, which everyone knows when you have a recipe with garlic, you can't just do 1 clove.
And your girl's the one who bought the garlic. Erin gave me an errand to run, and I thought I was gonna get lost, but I actually found it in like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Adulting. Actually, as I was buying it, I was like, wow, I'm adulting so hard right now.
So I'm not gonna mince it because I am lazy, but I am just going to slice it. Keep sliding around because the cutting board is all greasy from the Spam. It's an extremely rough chop. No one judge me. I don't care. It's just to add garlic.
We're not professionals.
Flavor. We're very not. But that's part of the fun. Snow is sitting right there. Right here. And then to this, you're gonna add 4 cups of stock, which you can make yourself if you feel like putting in that kind of effort, but I just did water and chicken powder pour in this, and then it's gonna be cooking on medium-high. Once it boils, it's gonna cook for about 8 minutes.
That's all?
Mm-hmm. But it does take a little while for it to boil. I will transfer, oh god, to the stove.
I have to sneeze off camera because
Grace,
I'm shy.
there's things in the way.
My sneeze is gone.
And then we'll put the lid on it so that it cooks faster.
So now we just wait, right?
Yes.
In the meantime, let's do the package.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I'll set up context. We went to, what's that place called?
Crank Pot.
We went to Crank Pots to put paint on ceramic stuff. And this is our first time where we get to see it. Ooh,
Okay.
it's all wrapped.
So here is
My
bowl
bowl.
that Grace made.
Guys, I made this. Oh my
Chad is
god.
slithering in here. This is the plate that Chad made.
Guys, this is incredible. I created that bowl. It looks
see?
so good.
It says burger, and it's thinking of a tiny hamburger. This is the one that Chad made.
Wait, I want to
It's a
see
super
too.
cute little night scene. And then mine.
This is the big reveal.
Oh god, part of it did not turn out. It's very simple. It's literally just a heart and soul plate. That's pretty close.
That's actually really close.
Oh yeah.
That's very aesthetic.
So the green onions, they're gonna go in with the later ingredients.
Don't forget about my pasta.
Your pasta. Grace's version of pasta is these. They are Korean rice cakes.
I put the whole thing in there, but Erin hates the texture.
I do hate the texture,
But I
they
think
don't
it's
really taste like anything. This is,
I like things that have fun texture, but they don't really taste like anything.
oh my god.
Because you're
This
kind of like,
one-
why are you eating it?
Yeah, they're just like little slicey things. You can get them in bricks or little tubes, or you can cut them into whatever
I think these are the best
shape you want. That's why I got them for you. So the other reason we're doing this is to talk about Heart and Seoul, which has been out for about a month now. Grace was one of my beta readers for it.
Was draft 5. Draft 5 was me. Here's the thing. I want parents like Tessa.
Tessa has the best parents.
Yeah, and her relationship with them is so good. When I was reading, so I was rereading it, some of it today, so I could stay on my game. But when they were talking about where would they would move and live permanently, I just can't imagine her being away from her parents.
Yeah, but they're just gonna come visit. Why am I slicing these little? These need to go like big pieces.
Talking about your book, I get so distracted.
I do. Once it's been boiling for 8 minutes, we're gonna put these other little ingredients in.
Wait, look, this is accurate height difference between Eungi and Tessa.
He's not that much shorter than her.
He's a little. That's what I love about their relationship, though. I love that he's shorter than her. And he's cool about it. So many people are not cool about that.
Kyung-ho was shorter than her, too, on the date. He's much littler than most guys. And also, he really likes tall people. Which is why Kelly set them up.
Oh, okay.
Also,
he's a good guy.
He's a delightful person in general.
Yeah. When I was first reading them, I was kind of like, I like you two together. I kind of want this to work out. I knew it wouldn't, obviously, but I wanted it.
Yeah, for context, Kelly, who lives in Korea, wants to set Tessa up so that she'll consider moving there permanently. And so she sets her up with one of her friends, Pyung-ho, who is a delight.
Great guy.
Yes.
Great guy.
He's a huge history nerd, and he's going to be the lead in book 2 because I love him.
He's great. You can also tell how much of a history nerd you are, because so much history goes... The way that I can kind of hear your voice in some of the dialogue... I'm like, that's Erin.
See, a lot of the history stuff, I get, like, intrigued by it in dramas, and then I'm like, I need to go and learn how much of this is accurate.
And just how much they like to explore the city and everything. I feel like a lot of your cutesiness gets translated into Minjae. Because he's so cute.
He's so cute.
Yeah, I love him immediately being like, can I call you Nuna? And she's like, yeah.
Yes.
I love that relationship.
Snow is in the cupboard eating a measuring cup.
Intermission, hot and fresh out the kitchen.
So here's Snow. Also, yes, she was sick because you can see her little tummy is all naked. It's partially grown in, but she had to get an ultrasound. And she's all healthy now.
We were very worried though.
Yep.
It was stressful.
She does that. She worries us a lot because she is a very delicate child. Will came to say hi. Kitty, intermission.
All of the...
Hi, honey. The Budae Jjigae has been boiling for 8 minutes now. We're going to add the greens, the ramen, and the rice cakes, and some cheese on top of the ramen. Do not skip on the cheese. Usually it's a slice of just like a Kraft single, but...
This is better than Kraft single.
Yeah, it's like actual
What
cheddar.
is Kraft single even? Yeah.
Pretend cheese.
Yeah.
So we'll take that over and add it in. So we're gonna put the ramen right in the middle. Oh god, it's hot. Right in the middle there. And then you just put the cheese right on top. It's going to slowly melt and make everything amazing. And then I will add the bokchoy just around. We'll tuck that in a little bit. Green onions. I'm putting all of it. No one can stop me. Oh God, I dropped a piece. And the rice cakes.
My favorite part.
Yes, Grace's favorite. I don't mind the taste of them, but I have like so many texture issues with food, so it's weird for me. So I'll just kind of like tuck everything in, and then it's gonna boil for 3 minutes. This is what the Budae Jjigae looks like when it's all done boiling. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so I'm just gonna break apart the ramen. This is the only part that you have to eat relatively quickly because it's instant noodles. So they're gonna get glommy and gross if you wait too long on that. So I will get a whole bunch of the rice cakes for Grace.
Thank you, much appreciated.
Well, I get all the rice cakes for Grace, but you know. We'll get some of the radishes in there. Some Spam sticks, some vegetable.
I'm so excited for those mushrooms.
Oyster mushrooms, and enoki mushrooms, which are basically like mushroom noodles. Oh my God, it's hot. Steam is burning my thumb.
I'm so transfixed by you putting stuff in my bowl that I don't even know if I was filming that right.
That's okay. Add the garlic scapes, and then we'll do like half of the noodles, and there's some kimchi stuck on the bottom there. Yeah, the nice thing with putting the cheese on top is that it like melts onto all of the noodles, so it's like extra delicious. And I'll get you some of this liquid, extra deliciousness. What you can do at the end of your eating of this, you can cook like dumplings or add more rice or anything else to the liquid, and just like keep it going forever. It's an eternal food. So not really to celebrate because I bought these for book research, but we have regular soju and peach soju. Grace, have you had soju before?
No, I'm trying the regular soju.
Yes, I've already tried the regular, not a huge fan, but I got the peach one, so let's see. It'll be interesting.
I'm thinking this is like cider vodka or something.
I don't know. I don't really drink at all, so...
I don't drink soju, so... Okay, let's cheers. Okay. Oh, I ate that.
You know, the peach one is actually really good.
Oh my God.
The peach one is much nicer.
Whoa, that is like vodka almost.
Yeah, see, that's why I say in the book, soju is sneaky.
Oh, I thought this was like... I thought this was juice.
No.
But that was like vodka.
Yeah, it's also the national drink of Korea.
Guys, we need to do better than this.
No, just try the peach one. The peach one is...
Wait, I need 1 second to heal. Oh, I was not expecting that. Okay. Okay, peach one's way better.
Mm-hmm. Way better.
Yeah, that's way better.
You could drink it straight. The peach one is dangerous.
This is the one that I thought this was how this was going to taste, so.
Yeah, this is the one that I give Tessa in the book. Just how she ends up super hammered off without really noticing.
Listen, Tessa gets sloppy, and I respect her for that because her getting sloppy leads her into the arms of her idol, so.
But the sloppy part, a lot of people think it's just from the soju, but it's
like her migraines, right?
Yes, migraines and jet lag. It's like the perfect storm to fuck her up. So in Korea, you can get like a whole one of these. It's like 360 mils. It's like $1.50 at the convenience store. So it's extremely cheap and accessible. Okay, we're gonna taste our
I'm so
Budae
hungry.
Jjigae. Oh God, this is not gonna look beautiful on camera. I apologize.
I'm so scared something's gonna be in my mouth for like the whole video.
Oh my God, the noodles are so good that they're just covered in cheese. The bokchoy is really nice in this. And it's like spicy, but not I'm in pain spicy, which a lot of Korean food is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's start. Let's get into the nitty gritty because I don't often have the author here with me when I get to talk about a book and what's happening with that.
It's true.
Okay, one of my favorite scenes is when Tessa and Ungi. Okay, guys, I am gonna mess up the names, and I apologize in advance for that. When they're sitting in the bed, and Tessa's so open and great about her sexuality. Can you speak on that a little bit first?
So Tessa is panromantic, demisexual. She's had previous relationships with women.
That was her long-term one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She had one long-term relationship when she was in university with a woman named Selena.
Because Ungi is her first dude, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, she had a very amicable breakup. It was a university relationship. Selena is from Toronto. Tessa is from Vancouver. They were both attending UBC. And so Tessa didn't want to move to Toronto. Selena didn't want to stay in Vancouver. So they're just like,
life happens. And then Ungi, he thinks that he's also
definitely bi.
Okay, because
Juan was
he's
his
like,
first boyfriend.
They were boyfriends?
Yeah. Dating as much as you can date when you are forcibly living with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can't go out on dates.
I'm so surprised that they actually dated. I didn't think that that's what that was alluding to.
Well, that's because Ungi is easily embarrassed.
He is really shy. He opens up to her fairly early on in the book.
Because she opened up to him first.
Yes, yeah.
So if she hadn't, he would have, like, never said anything.
I just think it's really cool because you get to see the development of, because he's so cranky and not into it at the very beginning, and slowly he gets a little bit softer, and then you know,
he gets those feels.
They start sharing a bed, and you're like, oh my god.
Okay, the bed sharing for comfort is, like, one of my favoriteest tropes ever. So I was like, I have to put it in here.
I love that, especially when it's not, because it's not necessarily out of romantic feelings, which I really like, but you see how that develops in your...
Yes.
And then they just start doing it. And I like the part... but romantically...
Romantically doing it.
I just like how when Ungi is talking about how it's just so routine. Actually, it might have been Tessa, but it's so routine of them to go to sleep together and to eat meals together, and you start to see the blurred lines between fake relationship and real relationship. So we were talking about how we really like that trope because it's a good trope to have, but I think sometimes it's really difficult to like how do you slowly, because Tessa starts off as a fan. If I was a famous superstar, I'd be really wary about that. Like, what do you think makes them kind of go against it and work really well?
Well, I think the fact, like, Tessa is extremely conscious of the fact that she's a fan, so she doesn't want to make him uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So,
like that time when she's getting tea and playing the music.
And listening to his music. Yeah, a lot of it is literally, like, she is aware that it would make him uncomfortable, so she, like, goes out of her way to not make it weird.
Yeah. But I also love how they were saying, would you rather her not like our stuff? And that was such a good point.
Too.
Oh, was it? Because I was like, that's so true. It's so easy to be like, oh, these crazy fans like me just for this. But to say, would you rather her not like our content?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, too. So Tessa has been a fan of their group since she was about 19. So she's had, like, a good long while of enjoying their stuff. And that's, like, one of the weird things that I notice about K-pop compared to, like, Western groups is K-pop groups really let you in so you feel like you know them. Because, like, once here, they're just like, you know, don't talk to me. Like, everything is private.
Wait, explain that more.
With a lot of Korean groups, they'll do the V Lives, so they'll do live streams where it's just, like, them talking to the fans. I don't know what they're called for other groups. I know BTS has their Run episodes, which is kind of like their own variety show.
Okay.
So you just get to see them in all kinds of situations that you wouldn't normally see American groups in. Like, it feels so much more open than American groups.
I did notice that. I think you did really well in the book, like, showing the difference culturally with how pop culture, because a lot of the time with Western culture, even the fake relationship probably wouldn't work just because they wouldn't have to resort to that.
Yeah.
But it's so intense, and just reading your book, I can kind of see, I can kind of get a little bit of Korean culture and stuff, just based on how people treat them. What I was surprised about, though, was how many people were kind of against Ungi after once he's in jail, because I wouldn't have expected that.
Yes. It was kind of funny, because a lot of the time when I was writing it, I'm just like, is this too much? Is this unrealistic?
Yeah.
But then, like, a week later, the same thing almost would happen in like the actual K-pop world. And I'm like, oh no, this works.
That sucks.
Because like with the initial dating scandal, after I had written that, there was the whole dating scandal with Erin and Hyuna, where they came out that they had been dating for 2 years, and people like lost their shit. Both of them got fired from their company.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because there's like this concept of like idols are property. Like you have to project a specific image. Like you have to be available to the fans in fantasy.
That's so weird.
Yes. So
that's
why I mentioned that Eungi does not specifically have a love ban in his contract, which a lot of idols in Japan and Korea do. They cannot date. And if they do, they can be fired for it. Because it ruins that image. Yeah, it's extremely hardcore. So I kind of tried to walk a line with that.
One thing that I really liked in the book was the relationship between the band members. So we only see, 4 of them?
Yes.
But there's more. There's 7?
7 in the group.
Okay, where are the other 3?
The other 3 are Yoon, Jin, and Juwon.
Okay.
So those 3 are old enough to have been put into their compulsory military service. So in Korea, every man, with the exception of like Olympic gold medal winners, like a few different contest winners, have to do, I think, minimum 18 months of service, depending on what branch of the military you go into.
What age do they have to do that by?
Well, the law recently changed. It was, you had up until 35 for a little while, I think. You had to complete your service by then. And then they reduced it where you had to apply for service by the time you were 30. And now they have changed it that you have to apply and begin your service before you turn 28. That was just recent. I think in October they changed that law, which is why in book 2 I had to change it so that Sung-soo is not there, and I am extremely bitter about that.
I miss Sung-soo. Sung-soo, I feel like, really brings everyone together because, let's be real, Eungi is just a mess. He's just a mess.
Really is.
Yeah. And I feel like Sung-soo is really the glue that holds everyone together.
He's the group dad.
Yeah. Even with Tessa, though, she can get very overwhelmed. And so I'm glad that Sung-soo's there to kind of be the dad about it.
Yeah, the nice thing with his character is a lot of these situations where normally one of the boys would handle it, he sees kind of like the shift in Tessa and Eungi's relationship, and he's like, Tessa will handle this, like, we'll give her the opportunity.
Why did you decide to create such different family backgrounds for the main characters?
I wanted them to have a foil. So Tessa has like a really good relationship with her parents, and Eungi has like no relationship with his parents. But I really wanted, when it came down to it, because he, aside from like one other character, has probably like the shittiest background. So I wanted it to be that Tessa's family was open enough and accepting that Eungi would basically be like an instant son.
Good. If you ever kill off any of Tessa's family, I'm gonna be pissed.
I had so many beta readers be like, please don't kill her dad. I can't handle it.
Literally halfway through, I'm like, if she kills off the dad, I'm gonna rage.
No, see, I wouldn't do that because I need her to fall in love, and I don't want it to be grief driven. I want it to be like a genuine progression, and not just because she's emotionally crushed.
This is completely unrelated, but I like when they went on their honeymoon. The honeymoon part is what you really see that huge transition, because obviously that's where you get...
because they're finally alone together. So,
yeah, and there's a little bit of pressure to do the brand sponsorship, whatever.
But when they're just in the hotel room, like, there's no one watching them, so Eungi can much more comfortably bond with her, and she's the only one there, so that helps, like, he can't get distracted by any of the boys.
What I really appreciate for you as a writer is that you see so many people that write because they want to profit or they want like a lot of attention from it, but you genuinely seem to enjoy just writing.
God, I had like the best time writing.
Yeah, and you can see how much of a nerd she is in the stuff that she's writing, because you get all the historical background for stuff. You can see how much research is being put into it, and you have
appreciate that comes across.
You have like 20 characters, and they're all completely, developed, but I mean, we're gonna have more books where there's
Mhm.
more of a focus there.
Yes.
But yeah, you can definitely see some of the lines I read. I'm like, this is so Erin. I can hear Erin when she's saying this. One of the things that I was really, really excited, or one of my favorite parts, I think is so cute, is between Min-jae and Kyung-ho, and it's where they're talking about Korea as a pie or something.
Oh yeah.
You know that part?
He's talking to Juan.
Oh, is it Juan?
That's what Kyung-ho.
I always confuse Juan with literally everyone else.
That's where Kyung-ho's crush starts because Juan, like, his eyes do not
Whoa,
glaze
whoa,
over.
wait. What did you just say? Wait.
Because book 2 is Juan and Kyung-ho.
Whoa, they're gonna get together?
Mm.
Oh my god, that's a spoiler.
The
That's a
main pair of the group
Oh my
the book
god.
is not spoilers.
I mean, I noticed them interacting, and I very vaguely thought about it, but I was thinking, nah, I'm looking into it.
Yeah, see, my betas who knew it was a series, they're like, I see this. This is coming in later, right?
Oh my god. Kelly and her husband, they're so interesting because outwardly they seem so different. Because Kelly's so, you see with the
She's a
colored
lot.
hair, and she's very exuberant. And then Minju,
yeah.
he's very, very polite and, I mean, treats everyone with, like, a lot of respect. So it's so... How did they get together? Did you say? How did that...
I can't remember if I say in the book, but basically when Kelly was a teenager, she went on multiple summer exchanges. So she did Ireland, Korea, and Japan, and she met Minju on the Korea exchange because he was a student volunteer with the program, and he had just finished his military service. He did it like as soon as he was old enough to go into it. Yeah, he was a student volunteer with that, getting like not quite teaching experience, but like foot in the door kind of thing. And then he and Kelly became pen pals for another, I think 2 years. And then at that point, she was like super, super into him. So she's like, Moms, I'm gonna go and finish my school in Korea.
I really like all the healthy relationships in your book, platonic or
strive
otherwise.
for that.
But even, I mean, me reading this, I'm like, man, these romantic relationships, these are so good. This is so unrealistic. This is putting my expectations up, like, way up here. Because they're all so healthy, but it's also so supportive, mutual self-growth, which I think is super cool. And I like that you can accurately portray relationships that are toxic or abusive while also showing the importance of, like, getting that support from other places. Because I feel like a lot of literature, whether it's poetry or otherwise, really idealizes or romanticizes getting hurt or being hurt by people. So I like that this one is saying, no, get your support. And I like when Ungi has that whole moment and he's like, and Tessa's like, you should talk to a professional, talk to me about this, and he's very aggressively not into it. But to see him even develop in the next 23 pages from there.
Yeah, there was one thing I really wanted to focus on. Like, even though it is a romance novel, I wanted them to have, like, fully developed relationships with their friends, and I wanted those to be basically, like, equally important to them. So that's why, like, at the end, when they go and visit, it certainly helps, but a romantic relationship is not magic.
Yeah. And it's not the only thing that you should be focusing on either. That's why I really like the boys and Kelly as well. Because it's cool that they all get together and you can have that big collective group of support, but also important for them to have their individual... Oh, also, let's talk about this for 1 second. Let's talk about how Erin writes this book, and it's like the last 30 pages that are incredibly stressful. I get so stressed reading it.
I'm sorry.
And then how are you able to tie it all together within a 30-page span? I don't even understand because you managed to really pull the loose ends in to leave me feeling not completely anxious by the time that I'm finished. When I was going through my comments when I was first reading the draft, and so much of it is, please don't kill this character. What are you doing? OMG, OMG.
So one of the things that I try to do with a lot of the events in the story is, like, look at it from every possible angle so that when this thing happens, people aren't like, well, they could just do this instead or do this instead. And I was like, I had to, like, shore up all those little tiny holes. Like, even to get the marriage of convenience started, I was like, how do I basically corner them into having to go down this route?
I was actually thinking about that when you were going into it because I'm thinking, how is she going to make it so that they have to get a fake relationship? Because that's a very drastic measure to go.
Yes.
That's very unconventional. This is my second time being at their place. There's cats everywhere.
There is. Look how cute and round Iggy is right now.
I know. I keep looking at Iggy, actually.
Hello. Look how cute you are.
I've also decided I like soju. Min Jae is so, like, I just want to cuddle him and I want to pull him under my weighted blanket and I just want us to talk about life and I want to, like, caress his cheek and stuff, you know?
He's very sweet.
Yeah, rereading the book, he's getting into top favorites because I think he's just, he really changes the atmosphere of the room, I think. And I think for Eungi, it's great that he has so many supports like Tessa and Sungsu, whatever. I think, though, that Min Jae brings this, like, childlike wonder almost to him. And he gets to, in that case, be the older brother that maybe he doesn't get to be with his younger sister until later. So I really like.
And the nice thing, like, Min Jae is super, super observant. So, like, you see that in the one scene where Eungi's, like, starting to get lost in his own head, and Min Jae just, like, hits him in the face with a pillow. He's like, stop that!
I like that because it's so easy for you to say, oh, this character is very goofy and dumb. But Min Jae is very goofy, but knows when there's a time and place, and sometimes uses his goofiness to alleviate the tension. Yeah, which is, I think, is the smartest character you can do. Tessa, I love that he calls her sister. I just love that so much because it kind of goes into my I love found family trope. So, and you kind of really get to see that in your book because everyone gets really close and everyone accepts Tessa as one of their own, even though she is a fan and even though I guess they don't really know and there's that protective streak that they have, but I like that they accept her. Oh, I love when they do permission to hug at first.
Yes.
I love that.
They do that
I've never experienced that in real life. So it's so cool to hear that because touch is so taken for granted now, I think. And sometimes it's nice for you to ask for it, even though I guess sometimes it can make it weird or blah, 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 blah. I liked it.
That's one thing I really wanted to focus on in the story is all the different types of consent because often it is only relegated to being a thing around sex.
I really like that you go into that one because I personally really like that and I think that should be a top priority. I think it's really important for them to see, oh, you can consent through these different means. They're raising the bar so high for me.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm not sorry because you deserve quality partners.
Also, this was really good.
Yeah,
I think this is better.
So good.
I think this is better the first time.
It's because we made it less spicy. Yeah, I think last time we put in probably close to twice the spice. So it was a slightly more painful experience, but this one...
Why did we decide to put in less spice?
Because I was following a recipe, and this time I'm like, screw it, I'm doing whatever I want.
Okay. Anyways, back to the book. I read a lot of books, but this is one of the first books where you get to see a chronic condition that the character has to deal with repeatedly. Usually for me, the books I read is like a traumatic thing happens and then after you have to deal with it, or they're all perfectly able-bodied, perfect health. So it's cool because it makes her, again, more of a person. And we get to see Eungi take care of her because so much of it, I feel like, is her taking care of him until their honeymoon. Really, when the breach happens. Okay, so that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you'd like to be notified as soon as I upload, then ring that bell. All my social media links will be in the description below. There's also my 3 books, Olympian Confessions, Hades and Persephone, and Olympian Confessions, Hera, and Heart and Seoul is out now. They are all available in ebook and paperback. You can read the first 3 chapters of all of them on my website. All the links will be below. And I will see you all next week with another video. Bye!